So Jey Uso is in trouble, my friends, and so is CM Punk and Sami Zayn, because in many ways they just got screwed. Now, please ignore my face. It's a weird thing to say, but I have basically quite literally stepped off a plane. I was wrestling for Mystery Wrestling in Canada this weekend. I've just returned, but the YouTube content never stops. And make sure you support Mystery Wrestling. I had a great time. I've never been so happy. Goofy Wrestling for life, which is why I'm wearing this t-shirt, and because, of course, the whole R-Truth stuff. We talked about it yesterday. But there were chants of R-Truth throughout the show, but I think I got my thoughts out 24 hours ago. Totally misconstrued as always, because people don't listen to what I say, but more power to you. I love to have you. But yes, our big story on Raw is the rise of the Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman group. So happy they added Bronson Reed into this, because Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed were a tag team last night for the first time on Raw. Oh my gosh. As soon as they walked out just looking like mountains, I was like, we need to give them some titles, and we need to give them some titles right away. I wasn't a massive fan of the finish when they took on Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. I know I've talked about this too, but I can't help it if it's happening and I don't like it very much. The Positive Pete Show. I'm never allowed to say anything I don't like anything anymore. Maybe that's on me, but you can be positive and say you don't like stuff. But I'm just wanted there to be a winner and a loser, because when you do put four megastars together, and Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker together are larger than the sum of their parts because they're part of the big heel group on Raw. So you expect them to get victories at this early stage, but it's Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, the World Heavyweight Champion. So when Seth Rollins just ran down to do the stomp on the outside, I was just like, man, I get it. I really do get it with them. But because WWE especially is rampant now with distractions and interference, it takes something away from it when you really want to make an impact with the big group. I talked about this on Ups and Downs a little bit on What Culture. Make sure you subscribe to them. Please do subscribe to me as you are here. And go get a stupid Goofy Wrestling for Life shirt. Let's keep it going as our Goofy Wrestling brethren do get released or let go or don't have their contract removed. You know what I'm talking about. But if the goal is to establish Seth Rollins' crew as the scary, dominant, what we're going to do, they're going to ruin Raw, which is something else that Sami Zayn said. If Seth Rollins does win that World Championship, if everybody is then distracting and doing the same thing, it does take away from them. So I hope we kind of put more onus on there, because they look great and Seth Rollins doing a great job. And of course, in the main event, which actually was CM Punk versus El Grande Americano versus AJ Styles, and the cup of coffee won. I was genuinely surprised. I even had jokes prepared for, I wonder why he was in this match. But actually it makes sense, because Seth Rollins, I do believe, is going to win the Money in the Bank. We'll talk about that tomorrow in our prediction video. You probably don't want CM Punk in there, because now they can have a natural break. I also think Seth Rollins could cash in on Jey Uso or Gunther after the Gunther-Jey Uso match on Raw. But it was just, that was great too. And that's when I liked all the interference, because CM Punk had the match won, and Bronson Reed pulls him out, and everyone's fighting, and AJ Styles, he feels like he has to be distracted, so he gets headbutted with the magic metal mask or whatever it is. I do like a Raw ending that way, because it tells you all wrestling should do this, and I think actually all companies are way better in 2025. You need that odd match where you are surprised, because now every other match, you're like, what if that happens again? I can't account for anything, which is cool. And of course, the bad guy group beat up everybody we consider a top babyface. Punk, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, which also, this is why the story is so damn good when you have bodies moving in. I think Raw is better than SmackDown at the moment. But you have this idea that Gunther's like, Jey Uso, I can rip you to shreds because you're helping this guy and you're helping that guy. And it even said before this main event, I bet you go out there and try to assist and you get your ass whipped. That's what happened. He tried again earlier in the night. That's what happened. This weekend, he's also in the Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, John Cena tag team match. It's going to happen again. So WWE have done a great job using other people without even looking at Gunther, although again, he cut that promo beforehand, of just making you think, oh my gosh, maybe he is doomed. I think Seth Rollins is getting involved in that. We'll talk about the predictions tomorrow. I don't want to give it away too much. But really good storytelling, that. And especially because you have Punk and Sami Zayn and a bunch of other people, Gunther, for example, talking about that they want the World Championship. The more top stars that do that, the more you can go, well, it must be important because everyone keeps talking about it. It's like Poochie from The Simpsons. So that angle, especially because the start of the show was Punk saying, I'm going to win Money in the Bank and become the champion. And Sami saying, well, if you're the champion, I want to be the champion too. So our relationship is going to change. I love that you can have, they're both baby faces. Like, undoubtedly, there's no argument to have there. But while they do have a mutual respect, they don't have to like each other when it comes to the wrestling. Even Punk said that. If I win the Money in that briefcase, Jey Uso, maybe I'll challenge you. You're my buddy, but it's business. It used to be terrible. Remember that Survivor Series nonsense we used to do Team Raw versus Team SmackDown? And you'd have people just being friends because they're on the red brand or because they're on the blue brand. Sometimes that was heels and faces. It was even worse when it was faces and faces. But now you can be a good guy, but have your own agenda, have your own plan, have your own narrative. If somebody gets in the way of that, you're like, what are you doing? Drew McIntyre was at the bastion of all of that, right, from the other side. So awesome stuff. That three-way was good. I assume the distraction was coming. It's just a shame that it had to happen throughout the evening. I think it happened in 4 times in total. But we have a lot there. And I think, as much as I love Jey Uso, and I really love him, and his reactions are just heartwarming, I like the idea of him losing that belt relatively soon, because then it kind of proves Gunther right, and Seth Rollins being the champion, then we can prove Sami Zayn right, who also said, oh my gosh, better times are going to come to Monday Night Raw. If that does happen, let's establish them. Let's establish Seth, Paul Heyman, and the Bronze to do all of this. The Bronze, not the Bronze, the Brons. I thought Bronson Reed looked awesome. Really, really good idea. I don't care if this was the original plan. I don't care if he got added in on a whim. If it works, it works. Bron Breakker, make him the world champion tomorrow. And they probably should be the tag team champions soon. You know, Seth Rollins with 1 belt, then with 2 belts. One of them could even go after the IC title or something. 2, maybe the 4th guy. So you have 5 in total. Probably don't do that. That would be overkill. But it was very interesting television. It was very compelling. I like the fact it bookended the show. Like I say, my small pet peeve is just that it happened in so many matches. The Judgment Day are the issue. I love the Judgment Day. And the dynamic at the moment with Finn and Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan and Finn and Roxanne Perez mucking around with Raquel Rodriguez makes sense because the Judgment Day have always done that. But I just think if you were going to introduce another bad guy group, maybe pull back on their run-ins and stuff. And actually, it was more difficult in this episode too because Carlito was just gone and he's taken his PlayStation. I just thought that was a shame. I think Dom Dom was wearing a Carlito shirt. And listen, I get it, man. WWE doesn't have to renew anyone's contract if they don't want to. Now there's a rumor out there that apparently everyone did get offered new deals, but it was a lowball deals. Well, let's just say it happened to our Truth, right? Truth is allowed to say, no, it's not enough money, and WWE is allowed to do that. But you can still be sad as a fan. I really want to double down on that. And I just thought it was a little bit upsetting that Carlito just wasn't here. We didn't get a story to end it. That's just crap, right? We'd say it was crap on any television show that we're watching on Netflix or Apple TV or Amazon Prime. If somebody just didn't turn up, you'd be like, well, you just take it away. What's the character arc? And it's the same in wrestling. I know it's different because there's so much content. It's so much easier to forget. But I've been enjoying Carlito. He had some very funny lines with the apples and all this nonsense. And for it just go sucks. But it does kind of feel like we're heading in to make a Judgment Day a 3.0 or a 4.0 situation. I mean, either Dominic Mysterio or Finn Balor is going babyface and heel. And Roxanne Perez could break up Liv Morgan and Raquel. Don't massively want that. The Liv Morgan match was really good too, which was her versus Stephanie Vaquer making her debut. And Ivy Nile. Really happy we got Ivy Nile some time to shine as well because she's way better than the television time she gets. Stephanie Vaquer got us the big video. I was a little bit like, what? That's how we did it when we just announced on social media a few days ago. Oh, she's on Monday nights now. But I like the video. I like the entrance. And it doesn't even matter. The only reason you need to do those build-up videos is to tell the fans on the main roster compared to the NXT crowd, you need to care about this person. They cared about her so much. They knew all the NXT stuff anyway, so you can almost argue the build-up videos were NXT because they reacted to the Devil's Kiss and all of her moves. But really good stuff. I think a feud between her and Liv would be excellent. Stephanie Vaquer now is in the Money in the Bank. Do I think she's going to win? Probably not. But look at the women's Money in the Bank lineup. Any of them could win. And then later on, we did the tease between Rhea Ripley and Stephanie when they were just backstage. This place went crazy. So the women's division on Raw and SmackDown really is in a great place. And why wait? I always say this. People are like, oh, I can't believe they did it so soon. Wrestling changes so fast. If you do see a window, you do see an opening, let's just push people into those holes and get the matches that we do want. But of course, throughout all of these matches, people were interfering, distractions. I just move it to one side. Just know if the match happened, you probably saw that as well. And I like the New Day the New Day on commentary as we had the War Raiders versus the Judgment Day because we do need more teams in that tag team scene. And JD McDonough and Finn Balor are excellent. The War Raiders are vastly underrated. My gosh, they're good. But they need more promo time. We need to throw these belts in people's faces a bit more. And we absolutely need more teams. Like, I don't know what's going on with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I'm a bit worried now they're going to get back together and go after the tag team belts. Because the New Day are doing such a hit job on Grayson Waller saying, listen, mate, you should get rid of your partner. That I kind of think it could be a tease for them to then enter back into the tag team scene too. And if they do that, they can never break up, ever. You can never, ever split them up. Because to do it for 16 months and never pull the trigger, that's a little bit too long for my taste. But I don't want to forget about the Jey Uso Gunther promo before the main event as well. With Gunther just explaining all of this stuff and saying, dude, you got to be like me, you got to be selfish. That's how you be a good champion. It's not about buddies, it's not about pals, which is sort of rhetoric you hear in real sports too. And that match is now happening on Monday after Money in the Bank. I'm super intrigued. I would put my money on a cash-in, but Gunther could win. Is it too soon for Jey Uso? Would that be a positive? Because for someone to lose a championship post-WrestleMania, only, April, May, June, 3 months later, it's big, it's brave, it's bold, especially for WWE, who has fallen into a pattern of long title reigns. So that's exciting to me. Like, I think that was a really good way to... Because Money in the Bank, I'm excited for the Money in the Bank matches. We talked about it. The tag team match is not for me. It just feels like a way to get the two world champions on the show without defending their belts, because you don't want them to lose their belts, but maybe Cody needs to take a fall or Jay needs to take a fall to justify the Gunther stuff. We will find out. But, you know, it's still... there's dangling carrots, and there's a reason for you to tune in next week. You should always end any wrestling television show, well, I need to tune in next week for X, Y, and Z. And I think we got that. And I'm pretty pumped for Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria. I think they work so well together. I think Becky Lynch has decided I need to raise this person up. Was that a Westlife song? You raise me? Well, it was a cover, though. I can't remember the original. And she's done it. Like, I think the fans are more into Lyra. I think she's cutting better promo. She's got fire. Becky has obviously given her free reign to just go absolutely crazy here and there. And it ends with a big old brawl. And I like the stipulations as long as we live up to them. So Lyra Valkyria has to raise Becky Lynch's holding down hand if she loses. But of course, Becky Lynch never challenged for the Women's Championship Intercontinental title ever again, while Lyra Valkyria has it. That stipulation's always a bit wishy-washy because Lyra could lose it on Monday and then you go back to it. But I like it. It's got stakes. I think Becky Lynch is probably going to win that too. But they just, again, they work well together. When two people work well together, well, it just works, which is a stupid thing to say. But that's absolutely the case. And even Raquel Rodriguez versus Kairi Sane served a purpose. That's what I like about Raw at the moment. It always feels like we're taking baby steps to somewhere. Because Kairi Sane won, which I wouldn't have had on paper. Of course, everybody ran out again because Io Sky and Liv Morgan are fighting. I guess the reason I can kind of get more on board on that one is because it's more teasing, right? We have teased that Io Sky and Liv Morgan are going to fall out because Liv Morgan keeps taking shots at Io Sky. So in the Judgment Day, we're attacking her friend. Io Sky came to the ring. It begs the question why she wasn't there to begin with. Like if you saw Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan and you're in a tag team essentially with Kairi Sane, you think you'd go, maybe you think I should go out there and do something. And I think with the women's division, it isn't a teeny bit of a holding pattern. We had a really good video with Julia as well for SmackDown. But again, Rhea Ripley only had the stare off on this show. So we need to see who's going to win Money in the Bank. And maybe we are going to go straight to the Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea Ripley stuff. But you don't want to do it too much now. SummerSlam is going to come pretty quick after Money in the Bank. So you do want to jump on it. But yeah, all those little things, they were sort of nice teasers, I suppose, and they may not even be matches that we're getting for 6 months, which I don't mind at all. Like again, the CM Punk Sami Zayn interaction was telling you this was WWE from, I don't know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. That would just be telling you this is our next pay-per-view match. I'm not saying that it is, I'm not saying that it isn't, but WWE has also shown they'll throw nuggets in there for you to remember down the line. They're like a telltale game. And let's say that Seth Rollins does win the Money in the Bank and he does cash in on Jey Uso on Monday. Well, what is next? Do we do Punk and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam? Does Punk have to win the title? Then what does Jey Uso do? Surely he wants his revenge. Sami Zayn's made it clear that he wants to do it too. We've already done the tag. So there is a good idea here. I don't think it's necessarily too obvious in the way it is going to play out. And that's why I'm quite excited about it. So I think a lot's going to go down at Money in the Bank. And then we spill out. I am convinced it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena night 2 of SummerSlam. And is Seth Rollins versus CM Punk for the World Championship on night 1 big enough? Absolutely. But then there's asterisks, right? Does it need a stipulation? Because we saw them in the cage match. They've essentially been feuding now for like 8 months, maybe even a bit longer. You could say over a year, I guess. But it still interests me, especially because you have all these other, not even supporting characters, they're main characters that kind of skip around and do their thing. So I think Io Sky needs to get in a proper feud soon as well. But again, we're going to get through Money in the Bank before we do that. So yes, I think Raw is in a very, very good position. I think it usually clocks out on my watching around about 2.5 hours. Super easy to watch. It does fly on by. And again, there are these major stars that have been inserted into all the angles that just tell you simply this matters and that doesn't matter, and we're going to do this here. And maybe it would be a good idea to break the Judgment Day up, going back to what we said, because then it can be Seth Rollins' group that runs totally wild, and that will free stuff up a little bit. But I did think it was a good show. It got me ready for Money in the Bank. It actually got me more excited about coming out of Money in the Bank. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone there, which is not an easy thing to do. And again, Chad Gable's in the Money in the Bank. Do you want to have a running joke where he's struggling because he has the briefcase as El Grande Americano, but he's also Chad Gable, who could become the Triple A champion whenever that World's End show is. Is that this weekend? I can't remember. I think it is, because this is Money in the Bank. Way too much, wrestling on TV. Somebody tweeted out that apparently there's 24 hours of television, including NXT later on. If that's the case, who's watching all of it? Me, but I'm very blessed and says I get paid to do it. Another reason I need to buy my t-shirt just to make me happy. That one didn't make any sense. Come and join the Patreon too. I'm having so much fun on Patreon right now. It's only $5, patreon.com/Simon316. We took a bunch of watch-alongs. We've done King of the Ring 98. We did SummerSlam 05, Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. The recent poll just went up and you can vote in that. And we're going to do all manner of crazy things, especially when it ties into things that do happen in the real world, like our truth. And there's more rumors about this too. Apparently The Miz has taken the WWE stuff out of his bio and his contract could be up too. I mean, after a while, I think you just have to sit back and let this stuff happen, because what can you do about it? Absolutely nothing. And there will be a time sink to all of this. You don't want to see the favorites from your youth get moved to one side, especially in a company like WWE, where you feel like they could have roles, but I always feel sorry for the individuals and the humans. I always like to see behind the characters and the gimmicks. Give you a job. Some people will go, oh, the Miz has been there for ages and he's made a load of money, of course. But it doesn't mean I want him to go away, right? I really don't care about his finances or how his tenure at a job. I like it when the Miz turns up and does something because I'm sure he has nostalgia and he reminds me of things. And I also massively respect the career he has had. But you sit back and you wait and for all these things to take over. But Raw was a good show. I thought it was, again, super easy to watch. Nothing that really went off the rails aside from sort of relying on the same finish over and over again. And a women's division that just gets better and better. I think moving Julia on to SmackDown and having Stephanie Vercaer and Roxanne Perez on Raw, and I think Jordan Grace is going to SmackDown. I mean, when you do a draft in a year's time and you switch some of them up, oh my gosh, it's going to be brilliant. And they have just announced Evolution 2, which is that same weekend as All In and the Great American Bash, whatever else they're doing. I mean, this is the same thing as the contracts. I don't think you can be on either side here. That's what all businesses do, but we don't like it. And it sucks because it's not fair on the fans. I think it's exactly the same. To me, that's exactly the same argument. I would much rather they sort of separated this stuff so we could just enjoy it all. Because I kind of think if you want to watch the Great American Bash and you want to watch All In, if you see the company sort of equal in your brain because you think wrestling is the best compared to anything else, then you'll probably watch All In and then you watch Great American Bash anyway because you want to see it all. That's what I'll do. Just because All In is presented like AEW's WrestleMania, so something I want to see more of and sharing the reactions online. Great American Bash, I want to see whatever matches they're going to do too. So maybe I check it out in the evening, maybe I check it out on Sunday, maybe I check it out on Monday. But that's a different video for a different day. I think we will get into that. But yeah, big thumbs up for Raw. Had a good time. The tag team division needs more bodies, but I'm kind of confident this is going to happen. And the Creeds now hate the New Day too. Everyone just hates the Creeds. And it was nice seeing people like Ivy Nile get their shot as well because she can hang. And some people like is she even the old guard? I don't think so. Who are they talking? Oh, Sarah Logan, right? She got released too. And some people, because they can't hang, she wouldn't be able to hang anyway. We don't know that, right? We have no idea where she's in her career. But there are people like Ivy Nile who haven't really had a chance to showcase. And, you know, she holds her end of the bargain. We're also getting Sheamus versus Rusev. I thought this was a very well done sort of quick hit on Raw. Because Rusev is like, yeah, we used to be friends, but you got a crap back, mate. My accolade finish will destroy you. Sheamus then patronized... well, not American made, Alpha Academy. Every time I do that, so this is why you don't do a video jet lagged. And then literally said, Rusev, yeah, you came to my wedding, we are buddies, but I'll murder you too. Who doesn't want to see two big men like that slapping man meat? They will lay it in. I know we've seen it before. I get the argument. It's not very creative because they kind of have always had their careers linked, but also this is a brand new WWE. We don't know what they're going to do. I have no issue with it whatsoever. And I'm pretty damn excited. Let's get Tozawa back in a match as well, just to throw it in there. And also, there was more teasing too. Sami Zayn is like the future king at the moment for stories we can do. Because he had another falling out with Karrion Kross, which has been going on now for about 6 months on and off, with Karrion Kross saying, you're not a good guy, you're a bad guy, and if you embrace that, you'll become the champion. Sami says no. Karrion says, well, maybe, just maybe. You need to think about it. Do we want Sami Zayn as a heel? Does Sami Zayn win the championship as a heel? Do we do a big heel turn? Is it a tease and he doesn't do it? Would it be good if he did win as a heel because it would just present something to you that you weren't expecting? And you do need some twist as long as you can justify it after the fact. Although we kind of got that at WrestleMania with Seth Rollins, so it's not like it's been ages since we have done that. But I think Sami Zayn could be the catalyst of all of this. And in 2025, we get a CM Punk world title run and a Sami Zayn world title run. Well, that's the kind of wrestling world I want to live in, to be completely honest. I think if you're over with the fans, it's why I love Jey Uso's run so much, and you can actually get a proper opportunity. That is good for other people that are going to come through the door as well, especially someone like CM Punk, who has become this monstrous babyface and gets mad reactions. Like when he came out with the chair to run Seth Rollins off following that tag team match, it was like Santa Claus was here. And we had that cool shot of all three of them in the ring, and then Gunther walks in and he tears it all down. So yes, good episode of Raw. I certainly did enjoy it. I watched it in an airport because why wouldn't I do that? And I think Money in the Bank is going to hold a lot of keys because they're going to have to do something huge for SummerSlam. You cannot have your first ever 2-night SummerSlam and not make it feel like WrestleMania. The matches have to feel big. If it is Cody versus John Cena, Cody probably has to win it back. It's difficult because does Seth Rollins lose that title after only, 6 weeks of holding it? I'm not sure you want to do that. I think you really have to tread on eggshells there. But they've really lucked out. Well, not lucked out, there's no such thing, but you know what I mean. Right now, they are running in the good times because of how beloved Punk is and Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and all of these guys. It's a really good babyface trifecta, and Seth stepping across to the evil side. And that's why you had to add Bronson Reed to it. It's a 3-on-3. You'll get the big 6-man tag. I would make it some kind of crazy Falls Count Anywhere match, just street fight. Let them fight everywhere. Let them go proper WWE 2K25. And it could be a match like Anarchy in the Arena that we're talking about for ages. I don't care if they want to borrow ideas. That was brilliant. If I get a WWE version, how can I be upset by this? How can I fail? I'm still getting the content. So yes, if you care about what I think, I would check out Raw this week. I think you'll be more pumped for Money in the Bank. Maybe you're not even watching Money in the Bank. You can watch clips on the internet, but you'll still get something there. More importantly, there's a comment section down there. Let me know what you thought about all of this. Did you hate it? Did you like it? Are you a bit confused with WWE? Because I've seen that too. Sort of got one, bless his heart, but let's say over-the-top person that was like, oh man, this is the downfall of WWE. The machine keeps on going, right? Steve Austin walked out once and the machine kept on going. I don't like to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We can be upset by this, but carry on regardless. I think that's fine. Not everything has to be total hyperbole. Click the video on the screen, which is me talking about R-Truth. Again, it's just emotion, man. That's all it is. He's one of my favourites all the time. He got let go. I'm sure some of the stuff I've said is hyperbole, but it comes from a good place. Otherwise, absolutely interact with all the stuff. Like, share, subscribe, like I say. Grillermind.com/Simon. These are the supplements I use. They're always 10% off if you use my code Simon, sometimes way much more. And it often ships, well, it always ships worldwide, but sometimes shipping is free, so keep an eye on that. We've talked about the Patreon. Please do come and join me. I just love doing it. It's so fun sharing and watching old matches with a positive community. It's absolutely the best. If you want a cheap personalized video message, go to Cameo and search my name. We do it all now. Bar mitzvahs, weddings, birthdays, pep talks, just shout outs in general, and I like them as well. Otherwise, Simon J. Miller on TikTok, Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter, and Pro Wrestling Tees, and BigCartel.com for merch. Now I need to sleep. I don't think this video was as long as I was hoping it's going to be because my brain is glitching out. I think it's going to be a good week in pro wrestling. Terrified about this 4-hour block of AEW content, but why not, man? Let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Enjoy it as much as you can, and you can also pick and choose. Remember that it's your life, and you're still a fan, even if you don't watch 5 minutes from Raw and the rest of the clips on social media. It's totally cool. Ignore those crazy gatekeepers, and I'll see you soon.